coming up, how the MacBook Neo is a glimpse into John Ternus's Apple. But first, DeepSeek has released its latest AI models, the V4 Pro and Flash versions, a bit over a year after it went viral and became the top-rated free app on Apple's App Store in the U.S. Welcome to the era of cost-effective 1 million context length, DeepSeek said in its announcement. Context length is what you call the maximum number of tokens that an AI model can remember. So the bigger it is, the more coherent and consistent an AI is when it comes to extended conversations. OpenAI's recently announced GPT 5.5 has a context window ranging from 400,000 to 1 million, for instance. The new model is still open source, allowing users to download its code and modify it if they want. DeepSeek says V4 Pro has enhanced agentic capabilities and claims that it rivals top closed-source models when it comes to reasoning. It also says that it trails only Gemini 3.1 Pro in rich world knowledge. Remember, you can find the latest gadget news, reviews, price drops, and more right now at Engadget.com. John Ternus was unavoidable when Apple debuted the MacBook Neo. He kicked off an intimate media event for the Neo, introducing it as a transformative machine for Apple thanks to its low $599 cost, $499 for education customers, and premium build quality. He was interviewed on Good Morning America, the sort of prominent media feature CEO Tim Cook typically handles. And when I asked Apple workers about the Neo at its launch event, they almost always brought up Ternus's vision of the laptop. For all intents and purposes, John Ternus was Apple's front man for the MacBook Neo. Ternus is slated for his coronation as Apple CEO on September 1st, and the Neo is not only a feather in his cap, but a likely indication of the company's approach to products going forward. It's a sign that Apple is getting more comfortable taking risks. Apple lives and dies on its own premium image. It completely gave up on making cheap iPhones like the SE and 5C, and the $599 iPhone 16e and 17e are more expensive than typical mid-range Android phones, though the $249 Apple Watch SE is admittedly one of the cheaper smartwatches around. It was risky to shove a mobile processor into a full-fledged computer, which could have made it too weak, and it was a gamble to stick with a meager 8 gigabytes of RAM, practically sacrilegious within the Apple pantheon. It's not breaking new ground for product categories, but the Neo, in being a budget laptop at all, is surprisingly un-Apple. And yet, thanks to Ternus's hardware leadership and Apple's command of its software, the MacBook Neo has been a resounding success. It has the best build quality, screen, keyboard, speakers, and trackpad that I've ever seen in a $600 laptop. As I wrote in my review, every Windows PC maker, including Microsoft, should be ashamed. While we don't know the full build cost for the Neo, Apple's margins for selling it will undoubtedly be far slimmer than the MacBook Air or Pro. But the Neo is more than a profit maker. It's a device that can serve as a gateway to the Apple ecosystem for kids and students. Even better, it could easily tempt over Windows users. We can't give Ternus all the credit for the Neo, of course. There's an entire team of product managers and engineers below him doing the actual design work, but it's hard to deny the flex of building a $600 laptop that doesn't feel like total garbage. The MacBook Neo surprised me, a jaded technology reporter, on practically every level, and its existence makes me wonder how a Ternus-led Apple could continue to iterate without compromising quality or Apple's signature attention to detail. Ternus is the rare Apple engineer who has played a role in almost all of its existing products. In his 25-year tenure, he's taken charge of building the Mac, iPad, iPhone, and Apple Watch. That gives him a unique perspective of where the company could go next, as well as how Apple could stretch its own capabilities. And based on what I've seen of the MacBook Neo, it'll be interesting to see how Apple reshapes itself for the future. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Today's show featured journalism by Engadget contributor Devendra Hardawar and was produced by Spoken Layer. I'm Imran Sheikh, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
Spoken Layer.